create any trouble or carry out any attacks in the Jammu and Kashmir.
All right, just stay on with me. Now we are tracking a very exclusive story from our sister organization, newspaper organization, the Sunday Guardian. After India destroyed the camps of LET and JEM in Operation Sindoor, Indian intelligence agencies have flagged renewed organizational and operational activity by these Pakistan-based terrorist group. This is an exclusive story that NewsX and Sunday Guardian is bringing to you. Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, both groups have resumed recruitment, training-related activity, rebuilding of the infrastructure that was destroyed by Indian missiles. Intelligence inputs indicate that senior Lashkar-e-Taiba leaders Talha, Saeed, Saifullah, Kasuri and Abdul Rauf stayed in Bahawalpur recently, which is the headquarters of the Jaish, and inputs further state that Talha, Saeed and Saifullah Kasuri met Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar during their visit. Now let's take a look at what this Sunday Guardian article says, and I'll be breaking it down to you. What exactly is this source-based news that we are getting at this point of time? This intelligence news that there, after Operation Sindoor, there has been operational organizational activity in terms of the Lashkar-e-Taiba and as well as Jaish-e-Mohammed rebuilding camps. So this is the headline of the article when we're talking about this. This is by our sister newspaper organization, the Sunday Guardian exclusive, and its sources to CSG. It's as per our sources that post-Operation Sindoor, Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed rebuild camps resume recruitment. And Indian intelligence agencies have flagged renewed organizational and operational activity by Pakistan-based terrorist group Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed less than 7 months following Operation Sindoor, during which terror infrastructure and members linked to both groups were targeted by Indian Air Force. And this is exactly what we are tracking in terms of what the inputs we are receiving, that now there have been rebuilding of camps, which is just 7 months after Operation Sindoor, as per this article by TSG, and that the Indian intelligence agencies have flagged renewed organizational and operational activity by Pakistan-based terrorist group, which includes Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. So when we talk about what exactly does this, as per our sources, what sources are telling us, according to this, both groups have resumed recruitment, rebuilding of the infrastructure that was destroyed by Indian missiles in Operation Sindoor, and movement of senior operatives across Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Obviously, this is coming from the intelligence inputs and as per our sources from TSG. Now, both the groups have resumed movement of senior operatives across Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. So, both the groups, the LET, which is Lashkar-e-Taiba, as well as Jaish-e-Mohammed, have resumed their movement of senior operatives when we're talking Pakistan as well as Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. All of this based on the sources of TSG and as per as according to the intelligence inputs. Now, senior Lashkar-e-Taiba leaders Talha, Saeed, Saifullah Kasuri and Abdul Rauf stayed in Bahawalpur recently, which is the headquarters of Jaish-e-Mohammed as well. So this is the intelligence input when we're talking about the increase in operational activities in these camps. These senior leaders, Talha, Saeed, Saifullah Kasuri as well as Abdul Rauf, they stayed in Bahawalpur, which happened recently, and it's important to note that this is the headquarters of Jaish. Now, inputs further state that Talha, Saeed and Saifullah Kasuri met Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar during their visit, and it's a very important, all of these developments are really important in terms of the fact that these meetings come post Operation Sindoor, that there's an increased activity in these camps. And the meetings that are taking place, when we talk about these three people meeting the Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar, and obviously coming to the point that these senior LAT leaders includes Talha, Saeed, Saifullah as well as Abdul Rauf, who stayed in Bahawalpur. Remember, viewers, Bahawalpur was one of the places that was struck in Operation Sindoor. And when we talk about Lashkar-e-Taiba has resumed activity at its Markaz-Taiba facility in Muridke. Another important when we're talking about the bases that were hit, it was not just Bahawalpur, it was also Muridke, where the Indian forces, the army struck. So Muridke as well as Bahawalpur, and we are seeing an increased activity there. Now, Indian intelligence have stated that there's a flagged renewed operational activities that are taking place. Now, both groups have resumed recruitment, rebuilding of the infrastructure that was destroyed by Indian missiles. So there's an increase of recruitment as well as rebuilding of the infrastructure. We've seen earlier reports also coming in that when we take a look, there was several images that were surfacing that these camps are being reconstructed, they are being rebuilt again, and this comes just after Operation Sindoor, post 7 months that they have started resuming recruitment as well. And then both the groups have resumed movement of senior operatives across Pakistan-occupied Kashmir as well. We've already talked about this, that these senior operatives are moving with their senior leaders like Saifullah, Kasuri and Abdur Rahman have been moving, and Talha Saeed as well have been moving. And these are the senior leaders when we are talking about that they have been meeting, and they notably met the Jaish-e-Mohammed chief, who is Masood Azhar. And so that's what we're talking about when we talk about the Talha Saeed, Saifullah Kasuri, as well as all of these people. It's very important to note that these developments come post Operation Sindoor, that there has been increased activity, operational activity, recruitment activities that are taking place. Now, joining me on the telecast is my colleague Ajay Jandyal. Ajay, what exactly does this mean? As per our sources in TSG are telling us that there have been increased activity in terms of operational activity, that there have been senior operatives that are meeting Jaish-e-Mohammed chief as well. What does this mean?
See, after Operation Sindoor, when Lashkar, Jaish and Hizbul-Mujahideen headquarters was decimated and targeted by the forces in India, and the number of their launch pads was totally decimated by security forces. Now, a fresh input says that after almost more than 6 months' time, they have once again started their activity, and their priority is definitely to once again build up the Jaish and Lashkar, headquarters, whether it is Munirki or the Bahawalpur. Government of Pakistan have already given funding on the name of madrasas and the mosque, but sources are also saying that they are also, getting funding from the ISI as well, so that they can once again rebuild this terror headquarters over there in Pakistan. They also have started new recruitment so that they can once again, come up with the like Jaish is known for the fidains and other things. So they once again is doing recruitment over there across in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Sources are also saying that before they started rebuilding this terror headquarters, they also met Masood Azhar, and this is basically to discuss about their future plans. What has happened in the recent past after Indian forces, they have decimated Pakistan's plan of disturbing peace in the Jammu and Kashmir and India. What they are basically they have done that all the terror groups, those who are operating from Pakistan, whether it is Hizbul-Mujahideen, Jaish or Lashkar-e-Taiba, they also have joined hand against India so that they can, more effectively we could try to attempt to target the defense installation and target the civilians to disturb peace over here in the country. But our forces are definitely on the alert, and this nefarious plan of Pakistan will not be succeeded.
All right, Ajay, thank you so much for joining me on the telecast. I also have with me Major General Sudhakar ji, who's a senior geopolitical expert and strategic defense expert. Major General Sudhakar ji, thank you so much for joining me on the telecast. Obviously, reading about this, as per our sources, what TSG has reported that as per intelligence input that there have been rebuilding of infrastructure in these bases in Bahawalpur. There have been activity as well of senior operatives like Talha, Saeed, as well as Saifullah, Kasuri and Abdul Rahman as well, meeting notably this Jaish-e-Mohammed, Masood Azhar as well. When do you think will Pakistan learn from this, the fact that after Operation Sindoor, they have continued again recruitment, these activities, they don't seem to stop anyway?
For inviting me for your show, and the short answer is Pakistan will never learn. And the long answer is that we would do well. We are already doing well. The fact that the Sunday Guardian has kept its eyes and ears open and got very credible and reliable inputs across the border about rejuvenation and revival of the infrastructure and the cadre strength of the jihadi forces in Pakistan. That itself is a big milestone. That means our response matrix has gone across the border and we have started looking for very accurate and precise information. That's a very important start point. Second thing is that one Operation Sindoor is not going to teach any lesson. In any case, our aim is not to teach a lesson to Pakistan. Our aim is to prevent the terrorists who are sponsored by Pakistan as non-state actors. They are no longer non-state, they become state actors now. They have to be prevented from conducting or perpetrating another event or incident like or mayhem like carnage like Pahalgam 1. It is going to be a big slap on the face of India if a similar kind of thing is allowed to take place on the soil of India anytime in near future. So therefore, how do you prevent it? It is not the issue of taking the war into the enemy soil. It is the issue of nipping the bird in the earnest. And that you do if the intelligence is accurate. Third thing which Ajay brought out very nicely is that we have to be mindful about the unfolding of events. The first and foremost thing which is relevant to military science is that all the groups, there are clear indications that they have started integrating. Now, integration of the groups means what? Means each one will be allowed to merge with the other group, number one. They can operate in each other's jurisdiction or areas of responsibility. Their areas are also divided. And so they operate in each other's areas of responsibility. And third and most important thing is that the domain expertise. Lashkar-e-Taiba has got expertise in particular thing. Jaish-e-Mohammed has got domain expertise in particular issue. Although Jaish-e-Mohammed was created to keep Lashkar-e-Taiba under check, but this joint collaborative kind of effort is very, very dangerous. So when that thing happens, then India has to actually make an effective counter strategy. How the groups which are coming together, how they are kept separated. That has to be an art of war which is to be applied against the non-state actor. And most important thing is that all the groups, without exception, have started getting the drones, the loiter ammunition. They have got the surveillance capability. So they are able to handle the drones. So when the terrorists come, next time it may not be a one-on-one or kind of a direct confrontation or direct carnage which happened in Pahalgam. It could be with the help of, they remain at a standoff range. They use the drones to target those selected targets. So instead of one person, one terrorist or two or six of them coming and doing Fidaini attack or ambushing our columns or killing in broad daylight, it may happen that they may take recourse to application of drones, employment of drones and hitting the targets. So this change in the warfare with the new kind of warheads in their hand or the military platforms, this also should, raise our eyebrows and start the process of preparing to counter it effectively. Last but not the least is that we need to look out for a couple of issues. One, the fund. Pakistan is one of the countries in the world today which is getting a Hawala fund, the largest as per my research and study. We need to look out for the chain of the transactions taking place, and we have to take initiative and preventive measure with an aim to choke them. This is one. Second thing that we need to actually look for is that, you see, every drone launching which is being launched from Pakistan, they have a launch pad, they have pilots who are handling it, they have some communication system which is guiding them, and it is believed that the Chinese satellites are actually helping them, and they have some kind of a communication system for direct one-to-one communication system. I am given to understand from reliable sources that the equipment, ultra equipment, which was given by China to Pakistan Army, has been handed over to all the three groups, and they have started using this equipment. It has got encrypted method. Quantum computing system is being applied. They make use of the satellite, and through the burst communication, radio transmission type, they pass the message which is very difficult to decode. So India has to
Yes.
apply itself and try and focus on these things to not to destabilize, but to crack the very ecosystem, and so that the preventive measures are put in place in on the soil of Pakistan. They are not allowed to cross the IB. Despite that, they will do. So there is nothing much that we
All
can
right.
do. So, and the
Yes.
last point, if you allow me one line, we must apply and practice the concept of mow the grass the way Israelis have been doing. Every 3 to 6 months' time, once a while, we must actually neutralize them, tell them
Yes.
that we are coming, we'll hit the
Yes.
terrorists like the last time. And घर के अंदर जो घुस के मारना है, इस पर मारना नहीं है. You destroy, you close the tap permanently, the tap of terrorism,
Yes,
which is
Major General Sudhakarji, I would like to stay on with me. I would also like to show our viewers this base that we are talking about, the in Murid case, the Markaz-Taiba as well. This is exactly what we are talking about. First of all, on your left hand side, what you can see is the destroyed, on your left hand side, you can see the destroyed image. Now what we can see is that there's been a reconstruction, there's been rebuilding of these bases. You can see here that this base now is being reconstructed. There has been renewed activity in this region, especially when we are talking about post-Operation Sindoor. We have seen operational activity that is taking place in this area specifically, that when we're talking about Saifullah, Kasuri, as well as when we're talking about other operatives, the senior leaders involved in Jaish-e-Mohammed as well as Lashkar-e-Taiba, there have been increased activity, especially in this region. And that is when during, left hand side is the point when India destroyed this particular base, this terror camp. And now on your right hand side is the image right now when we are showing what exactly it showed. There's been reconstruction and rebuilding of the base, the terror base camp that is taking place. So obviously these are major developments that are taking place. A short answer from you, Major General Sudhakarji, that when you're talking about drone activity, you've already talked about this. We have seen renewed drone activities that are taking place. Yesterday also happened that along LOC as well as the international border, it was reported. And in this particular article, we have talked that these operatives were receiving exposure to these trainings in terms of drone. You've talked about that we have to be ready for this warfare. How do we stop these activities that are taking place?
Yeah, good question. How do you stop? Prevention is better than cure. Prepare and prevent, repair and repent. There is the old saying. So when I say this, what I mean is that Sunday Guardian has to be complemented. Firstly, they must all our media platforms, they must be encouraged to investigate and try and ascertain and give the accurate information the way Sunday Guardian has done, and help the security apparatus to actually focus on to these objectives. And most important thing is, like I have outlined a couple of issues. First and foremost is communication. Second is the financial transaction. Third thing is the guidance system. Some drones are likely to be operating across the IB. Some will follow the method which was applied by Ukraine against Russia, Spiderweb, Operation Spiderweb, going into the heartland of Russia, 4,500 kilometers deep inside, and
Yes.
carrying out attack against the strategic bombers. So India has to prepare for these kind of things, and also be mindful of the fact there is a women's battalion which has come up in Jaish-e-Mohammed, as also
Yes.
Lashkar-e-Taiba. They are already operating in India. We have to guard against this, and the innocence and the simplicity of this women cadre operating in India must be factored into our overall military plan to counter them effectively.
All right, Major General Sudhakarji, due to the paucity of the time, we have to slip into a short break. But thank you so much for joining me on the telecast and for that input. But that's a wrap for the bulletin. We'll slip into a short break.